Secretly, we all want 15 minutes of fame. Some of us do things that are amazing, and some of us do YouTube channels to get out to the people. And then on July 22nd, 2015, two brothers in the Bever family tried to get their 15 minutes of fame by killing off members of their family. This is their story. Hello, I'm Sean, and welcome to my channel. If you are returning, then that's great to see you again. If you're new here, then welcome. Twice a week, I research true crime that I find interesting and tell you about it. I want to make sure that the victims are remembered. There's a lot of victims out there to remember. I want to start off by saying that I am going to take a week off from videos, so I will not be back for 2 weeks from today, which will be March 4th of 2024. I haven't taken any time off for like 3 or 4 months, so I'm just going to take some time off. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to do some shorts. I'm still going to release shorts probably every day, every other day. But I need to just get caught up and get these taken care of better. If you're not subscribed, please do so. It's free. If you want a membership, you can do that too. It has other benefits like early showings and, putting a vote out there on what you want to hear about next. If you have any suggestions for future shows, please just leave a message. I love hearing them, and I've taken them to heart very many times. Now on with today's true crime. Broken Arrow, Oklahoma is where the Bever family lived at 709 Magnolia Court. The family consisted of Father David, 54, Mother April, 45. The oldest son was Robert, 18, then Michael, who was 16, Crystal, who was 13, Daniel, who was 12, Christopher, 10, Victoria, 5, and Autumn, 2. On July 22nd, 2015, Crystal went into her brother's bedroom, and that's where Robert and Michael were. It was around 11:30 at night, and she informed them that their mom wanted them to do the dishes before they went to bed. Everyone else was already in bed or getting ready to go to bed. The boys had other plans. Michael said that he wanted to show her something on his computer, and when she went over there to look at the computer screen, Robert came up behind her, covered her mouth, and slit her throat, and stabbed her multiple times in the abdomen and throat area. She let out a scream and ran out of the room. This is when April came into the room, and Michael started to stab her repeatedly. Robert was chasing Crystal through the house as she was warning others to hide. She ran out the front door and collapsed. She had passed out due to the loss of blood, but she woke up briefly as Robert was dragging her back into the house. During the commotion, Daniel called 911. He stated that his brothers were attacking the family. 911 could hear screaming and yelling in the background, but soon the call went dead. They attempted to call back, but nobody answered, so they dispatched officers. In the attack, David was stabbed 28 times and April at least 48 times. Christopher and Victoria locked themselves in the bathroom, but Michael was trying to get in. He lied to them, saying that Robert was going to kill him and he needed a place to hide. So they opened up the door, and then he killed them. Daniel had locked himself in his dad's office, and this is where he called 911. But Michael used the same ruse to be let in there and ended up killing Daniel. During testimony, he said that Daniel kept telling him how much he loved him as he was stabbing him to death. Yeah. When the police arrived, they didn't hear anything at first. They knocked, no answer. Then they heard a girl from inside calling out. They broke into the home to just find a bloodbath. They found Crystal clinging to life. They got her out of the home and started doing a sweep of the house. Ambulance was called and was transporting Crystal to the hospital. Inside, they found the 5 family members that had been stabbed to death. They also found Autumn sleeping in her room. Miraculously, in the commotion, the boys had actually forgotten about her. The police kept searching for the brothers because they didn't know where they were, and Crystal did get out to the police that it was her older brothers that did all this. They started to search the woods behind the house, and with the aid of a K9 unit, they did find Michael and Robert. They were both covered in dirt and blood. One of the brothers stated that their plans were on a flash drive in the house. So the police searched and found the flash drive. They also recovered computer evidence, and it appeared that both brothers either taped the carnage or attempted to tape the carnage. It was also determined that 3,000 rounds of ammunition was going to be delivered the next day on July 20th. Or no, it was going to be delivered on July 23rd, which, yeah, the next day, to Robert. They had planned on using these bullets for their crime spree. They were both charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of assault and battery with a deadly weapon. The big question was, why would 2 brothers kill their family? And it was because of fame. They wanted to be famous. The brothers were their own best friend. They were homeschooled and had no interaction with other kids. The family was so sheltered that even like next door neighbors didn't know any of the family names until it came out in the paper. David was physically and verbally abusive to the children, and that's what the boys were saying, but Crystal also said that in her testimony. The parents would talk about Armageddon and how it was going to wipe out people in the world that they hated. It was common for the kids to go weeks without ever leaving the house. The brothers learned about the outside world from their computer. They became fascinated with shootings like Columbine and the Aurora, Colorado shooting. They would stay up late and just talk about their plans. They discovered serial killers and mass murderers while online and looked up to these people. They fascinated about having a huge body count, but unlike boys their age, this was a different kind of body count. They wanted to kill as many people as possible. Once the boys got older, they got jobs to buy things. They bought knives, they bought body armor, bullets, and even firearms. And since the parents thought that the end of the world was coming, evidently, they thought that the boys were preparing for Armageddon, and they were completely cool with it. The boys actually would walk around the house wearing body armor. I can't believe that they actually purchased all this different stuff, being, 18 and younger, but I guess they could have lied. I don't know. They planned on killing their family and putting their bodies up in tubs in the attic. They wanted to take their parents' vehicle and drive from place to place, killing people. They were hoping to claim at least 5 people a day until their body count could get to 50 to 100. They weren't sure where they wanted to stop, but they just wanted to make sure that before they were caught, they had the highest number possible. They yearned for this infamy, and they wanted to reach the coveted status of other killers. when being interviewed by the police, they were laughing and smiling about what they did. They were just disappointed that they didn't get to do more. Of course, while in jail, Robert tried to unalive himself with sheets, but was unsuccessful, so he could stand trial and everything. A preliminary hearing kept changing dates, but eventually was set for February 23rd, 2016. Robert pled guilty on all counts because he wanted to avoid the death penalty, but Michael had his trial, and that was on April 16th of 2018. While in jail, he drew some morbid, violent cartoons with crayons. And on August 9th, 2018, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, which is the same thing that Robert got for his plea deal. So both of them are in prison in Lexington, Oklahoma, but since they committed these crimes together, they can't be in the same prison. Robert is in Joseph Hart Correctional Center, and Michael is in the Lexington Correctional Center. On February of 2017, the Broken Arrow City Council planned to raise money to acquire the Bever home. They planned to tear it down and make it a park. Well, there was a lot of commotion about being able to get the house and all that stuff, but mysteriously the house was destroyed in a fire on March 18th, 2017. So they ended up selling the house to the city. On March 27th of 2019, so 2 years later, Reflection Park was opened. You know, one disturbing fact is that Crystal knew about her brother's plans for years. She even told her parents about it, and they just said, boys will be boys. They never took it serious, and as parents, we need to watch these red flags because it seems like there's more of this happening all the time. So, I don't know. I hope that Crystal and Autumn can have good lives and that this trauma isn't affecting them too badly, which, I don't know how it wouldn't, but my heart really goes out to them for the loss of their mom and their dad, David and April, and their siblings, Daniel, Christopher, and Victoria. Their lives were all cut short because of fame. It's a tough one to read about. Family killings is always a terrible, terrible crime. So thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Love you all. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, so I will be back. Bye.